Welcome to Amplified Youth Ministries. Our mission is to reclaim, connect, elevate, and activate. Over the next few minutes, we hope you will be elevated in your leadership and activated in your calling.
Hello, Amplified Student Leadership. I'm so excited that you are coming to be a part of this team. We at Amplified are going to go through some teachings that are very core to who we are, who we want to be, and what we think is going to effectively minister to this generation. And the one thing we want you to understand is that it's a family thing. We want you to desperately understand that this Christianity thing, this church thing, God always intended to be a family thing. Matter of fact, he says in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 5, that his unchanging plan from the very beginning has always been to adopt us into his own family by bringing us to himself through Jesus Christ. And this gave him great pleasure. From the very beginning, God said, I want to build a family. You know what I like about family? Is it doesn't matter how ugly you are, if you have a good day, if you have a bad day, how much you succeed or how big you blow it. When you're family, you are family. I was thinking about this, and when you're with family, when you close the door behind you, you get in your house, there are certain things that you'll never say, certain things that are never going to come out of your mouth when you're at home. For instance, I wonder if I'm going to have anyone to talk to. No, because you're home. You're with family. Of course you're going to have people to talk to. You're never going to say, oh my gosh, don't look at me. I have no makeup on. I can't believe I just stuttered in front of my mom and dad. They got to think I'm the biggest idiots ever. Oh no, I can never let them see my face again. I tripped in front of every single one of them. I cannot believe that they just saw me in my pajamas. I can never leave my room again. There's a zit the size of Mount Everest on my nose. These are things you're never going to say because you're with family. When you're with family, you don't care. Because family, by its very nature, by its very definition, man, they have to love you, right? Mom and dad are not going to give you up for adoption just because you have a bad hairstyle. At least not this week, maybe next week. Your sister isn't going to disown you because you're annoying. In a healthy family, when you walk into your house and you close the door, you are 100% free to be you completely. Because you know in the end of the day, they may get mad at you. You may get mad at them. You may irritate one another, but you're family and you're always going to be family. My sister is no less my sister if I'm happy with her or if I'm angry at her. And here within this ministry, when you walk into this room, in any of our ministries, on any of our nights or our mornings, you are safe to be completely you. Because you're family, and you will always be family. Because we're in this together. It's a family thing. In this ministry, in this family, we are safe together. This is a place that you can be completely you without penalty. We're going to laugh together, and sometimes at one another. We're going to cry together. We're going to take a stand with each other through the tough times in life, because sometimes it does get hard. But we're also going to fight together. In Philippians 1:30, it says, we are in this fight together. We are in this fight together as a family. There are two types of fighting that you're going to see in families. The first type is that families fight for each other. And the one you're probably the most familiar with is that families fight with each other. You're thinking in your mind, I knew it. I am allowed to fight with my sister. I'm going home and I am telling my mom and dad it is biblical. I can fight with them. You better not go home and say, Pastor Lynn said that I can fight with my sister, Mom. We're not talking about slapping, pinching, pulling of the hair. No, not talking about yelling down the hallway. Not that type of fighting. See, there's this guy named Paul in the Bible. He's one of the greatest apostles to walk the face of the earth. And he had some friends that lived in the city called Corinth. Man, these people were doing some crazy things, really messing up big time. And Paul wrote them this letter. And he said, hey guys, I love you. This is why I'm writing to you. You've got to get some things right. See, before you knew Christ, yeah, you were having sex outside of marriage. You were getting drunk. You were partying. Talked bad about each other. You did some crazy stuff. You didn't honor people. There was no respect for one another. But now you've become Christians. And when you become a Christian, it's time to stop all of that. The old way of doing things is gone. And the new has come. Your life has got to change. It's time to become mature. See, I have one of my sisters. Her name is Tracy. And there's something I love about my relationship with my sister. I have no problem telling Tracy, man, You need to stop doing that because it's stupid and it's going to mess up your life. And she has no problem telling that to me. It doesn't mean we like to hear it, but we're sisters. And we're willing to fight with one another because we love each other. Paul was saying to his Corinthian friends, man, it's time to grow up. He challenged them. He fought with them for what was better. And after he wrote that letter, he wrote him another letter saying, you know what? I know this letter upset you. It's in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 8. But it only upset you for a while. But now I'm glad. Not that you were upset, but that you were jarred into turning things around. You let the distress bring you to God, not drive you from Him. The result was gain. It wasn't loss. Distress that drives us to God does that. It turns us around. It gets us back on the way of salvation. We never regret that kind of pain. In Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17, it says, you use steel to sharpen steel, and one friend sharpens another. Have you ever seen a knife sharpened? They take the blade and they put it against a stone that is moving very quickly, and you can see shards of metal begin to chip away. It doesn't look like it feels too great. See, in us, as the church, as a family, it's time for us to do our jobs as brothers and sisters, to fight with each other. See, you've got to decide today. You've got to decide in yourself. Do you want someone that is just going to tell you what you want to hear, tell you what makes you feel good? Or do you want somebody that's going to speak the truth to you in love? Paul was sharpening his friends. See, a family's going to fight with each other. They're going to say things like, hey, you know what, that's not a good idea. Man, what are you doing dating that guy? You know he's not a Christian. It's going to bring you down paths that you never thought you would go. They're going to tell you things like, don't go to that party. You know what's going to happen there, and you're better than that. Don't put yourself in a situation that is going to cause you to slide down. See, there are certain things that we're going to fight with each other about.
So there are certain things we're going to fight with each other about. Certain things that are just not okay. The first one is gossip. See, the enemy uses gossip to infiltrate our ranks and divide us. We will not allow gossip to go unaddressed. Relationship is everything to this generation. And gossip is what divides relationships, so you can bet we're going to fight to remove it. Gossip is often called a normal adolescent experience. But this is far from the truth. How do we know this? Proverbs 25:23, as surely as the north wind brings the rain, so a gossiping tongue causes anger. Proverbs 26:20, fire goes without wood, and quarrels disappear when gossip starts. See, gossip isn't always just lies. Gossip can include even the truth. Whether something is true or not doesn't matter. Scripture instructs us not to gab about negative information about others. Imagine I took you to the top of Bethel Church, the roof, the top of the highest point of the church building. I have a feather pillow with me. And I cut into the pillow, and I let the feathers fly. And then I tell you, because you're with me, of course, on the top of this roof, I want you to go collect every single feather. And you would say, it's impossible. There's no way I can collect every one because the wind has carried them in every direction. I want you to know gossip is the same way. Once you spread gossip, you can't take it back. It spreads quickly and easily, and you can never even clean it up. Let's eradicate gossip here in Amplified. It's not okay in this family. See, there's three acceptable responses to negative information at someone. Three acceptables. First thing, when something negative happens, we go directly to the person and share them our concern. Directly to that person that's offended us or done something wrong. The second is we keep our mouth shut and pray. The third is go to a trusted spiritual leader for wisdom. That's it. You don't need to go to your friends. You don't need to go to mommy and daddy. You need to either go to that person, keep your mouth shut and pray, or go to a spiritual leader in your life, an adult leader. See, the second thing that we'll go to battle for is sarcasm. See, gossip's ugly cousin is sarcasm. Have you ever been a part of a group that is laughing, with you included, but on the inside you want to cry or punch someone in the neck if you're a guy because you were the brunt of the joke? It's so common in our culture that we don't even notice it. It's sarcasm. It's something we will fight about here. Sarcasm is a humor at any price philosophy. See, sarcasm is usually a measure of truth wrapped in a painful humor at someone else's expense. And it's painful. In Proverbs 26:18 and 19, it says, just as damaging as a madman shooting a deadly weapon is someone who lies to a friend and then says this, I was only joking. That's right, it says that in the Bible. It's okay to poke fun at situations or circumstances or even yourself, but we cross the line when sarcasm has a person at the center of it. Sarcasm is not okay in this family. We will fight against it. We'll go to battle over it. The third thing that we're going to fight over about is we're going to fight for each other. Proverbs 3:3-4, it says, never let loyalty and kindness get away from you. Wear them like a necklace. Write them deep in your heart. Then you will find favor with both God and people, and you will gain a good reputation. See, there's just something about loyal people. They're the best friends to have. And the ones you trust most. Loyal people. Families will fight for each other. They're loyal to each other. We got each other's backs. We're going to stick up for one another. We're not going to talk bad about each other. I may pick on you guys, but no one else will. They're not going to talk bad about you in my presence. They're not going to harm you in any way. I will not let them, because I will fight for you because you're family. I'm going to know me and my sister. Anybody ever had a family member that a sibling you fought a lot with? Me and my sister, we could argue with the best of them growing up, but no one else could with my sister. That was not going to happen on my watch. Let's be that kind of family that we fight for each other, not fight with each other. Families fight for each other. Other youth ministries may fight with each other, but not us. We're going to fight for each other. We are amplified and we are a family. Number 4 is stick together. The prodigal son, young man, decides it's time for him to move out of his dad's house. He had enough of the rules, the responsibilities. It's time for freedom. So he asked for his inheritance. He was supposed to wait till his dad had died and then he would receive it, but he wanted it now. So in a sense, when he asked for his inheritance, he's saying to his dad, I wish you were dead already. I don't want anything more to do with this family. We're done. Imagine the pain of that. So he leaves with a fortune in his bank account, and he heads to a city known for its fun, its pleasure, and most importantly, its freedom. You could call it Las Vegas or whatever you want. He lives it up with the ladies. He parties all night, gets plastered night after night. Some days he can't even remember what he did the night before. Surely this must have been fun. He gambles. He wins big sometimes, but loses big most times. He has all the friends, all the girls he wants. He rents out suites in 5-star hotels. Life is what he's always dreamed. It's what they do MTV shows about. He's living the life, and he goes to the bank again just like any other day with he just left the biggest party, the hottest girl in town. He's got the weekend now lined up. This weekend is going to be one to remember. And he walks up to the ATM, and it reads, 0 balance. Well, this can't be. I have a fortune. He storms into the bank, demanding that the teller fix it. But to no avail, the bank is correct. He has emptied every penny into his account. That weekend, a friend covers him. They buy him a few drinks, but within days, no one returns his calls, not even his texts. The clubs won't let him in. Now he's starting to get hungry. His body is starting to ache for the booze, for the buzz. He gets some money. He begs his so-called friends. He's got to get it. But they won't give it to him. He begs loan agents. They won't lend him anything. He's getting so hungry. It's been days since he's had a good meal. A few more days go by and he notices a farm on the edge of town. He sees a farmer. Surely this guy has some work. This guy isn't sure if he has anything for him, but he begs a little more. And finally the farmer lets him take care of the pigs. So he steps over the fence and takes a step into the pig's home. He sinks into pig manure. He grabs the pig's food and empties it into the trough. This goes on for days. He is so hungry. He's pouring the pig slop into the trough, and even their own food looks good to him. He's so hungry, and finally it hits him. He hits rock bottom. He's got to do something with his life. Something, anything. His only option. Could you imagine this? After telling his own dad, I want you dead, now he comes to the realization, the only hope I have is to go back home. To the very father I had declared dead. You know what? I'll go in as a slave. Maybe he'll put me to work. So he heads home miles after miles. He walks through hills and valleys. He finally reaches the last hill walking down the road. He sees the house in the distance. Closer and closer you get. He's rehearsing, Dad, I'm so sorry, I've wasted it all. Just make me a slave, I'll do anything. And suddenly he sees something in the distance running towards him. He's running, this guy is screaming his name. It's his father. Closer and closer he gets, his arms stretched wide. His dad runs to him and he collapses into his dad's arms. Whether it be from a long, exhausted journey or from the peace in his dad's arms, he just collapses, and with tears falling, streaming down his dad's cheek, the dad exclaims, "Find the nicest calf, we're having a party tonight. Get a robe, put it on my son's back. Get a ring, put it on his finger. For my son, not a slave, my son has come home again." And the son stops. "Dad, I'm sorry, I've wasted it all. Just make me a slave, I'll do anything, just let me come home." See, the ring wasn't just a normal ring. This ring that was put on his finger meant something. The dad simply says, when he puts that ring on his finger, it declared that you're my son again. You're not dead to me. You're my family. See, a family sticks together no matter what. No matter the mistakes you make, no matter the mess-ups, no matter how big or small, we stick together through thick and thin. Bearing one another's burdens, the Bible calls it. Man, it's so important that we take care of each other. When one of you goes missing, when one of your friends at Amplify goes missing, we put an all-out search party in together. And if someone comes back that's been gone, we love them like a son that's come home again. Remember, you're family. Every student at Amplified, we're family. No matter what, you always have a place here because you're family and we stick together. Every student. And when you join a student leadership team, it's almost like you become a big brother to a lot of little siblings around. And I'm a big brother to a little sister. It was my responsibility to make sure she was taken care of. And when she fell down, guess what? I helped get her back up. She's always my sister, no matter what she would ever do. Let's have that mentality for Amplified. Let's treat each other like brothers and sisters that stick together no matter what.